Hey, beautifuls! Alright, so here's what I did. I did 30 minutes of cardio, and I did kind of more steady state. I didn't really get my heart rate up super high. I was feeling a little bit kind of like flat. So I did, when I feel flat, what I do is I do longer cardio, a more steady state. So I did 30 minutes of cardio, level 10. So my level was still up there, but my heart rate was around like 118. It wasn't very high, but it was 30 minutes. So I go back and forth. Tomorrow I'll do high intensity cardio. I'll do like my 10-minute fartlek. What else? Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, gosh, it's like the most amazing thing ever, like when you train, and here's what I don't even know how to like convey this, but what's so cool about training is that when you get in touch with your injury or your for me it's an injury right now. I'm feeling it. It's in my right hip. It's in my internal rotators of my right hip. Like I can't bring my hip flexors. It's very hard for me to lift the leg up. It's very hard for me to internally rotate. It's a really challenging injury. So what I'm trying to do is, I call it surrounding the dragon. I'm just working around the injury. So strengthening, balance work, but a lot of stretching. And I found some stretches that are really, really effective. I can totally go right to the place that's really, really tight. And what's interesting when you really know your body and you can find that place where you're super tight is that it's almost like, for me, it's interesting because there's something just really holding on to this injury. Normally in an injury, I can kind of like, it's like hacking ice. I can kind of get in there with a pickaxe and like hack away at it, and I can kind of like get through the injury really, really fast. You know what I mean? Like I can figure out what it is and I can kind of plow through it. This injury is like very, very deep rooted. It's does not want me to get into it. When I find out where that is, it's just like it's almost like a cave with like a hair allowing you to have insight into it. And that's what I feel like. I feel like every injury is different. This injury is one that's just, it's very insipid. It's very, very, it's a very contraindicated contra movement. It's just like, it's very tight. It's almost like if you ever found like a clam in the ocean and it's kind of like open but still not even open because it's the animals living inside of it. It's just that like kind of mucosal level around it. But then if you touch it, like kind of touch on I mean, like, where am I? If you kind of touch on where the lip is of the injury, sorry about that, you guys, it'll like clamp down really tight. That's what this injury is like. It's very tight. Once I figure out how to heal this, it'll be really great, because this has been one of my biggest challenges. I've never had an injury that's been this challenging. And what's interesting is, I was telling you, I was belt testing, and I tore my hamstring, and tearing that hamstring just like jacked that hip up. And it's just been, man, if I could take one day of grass drill training back, I remember the time that I did it because it popped, but I was such in an egoic state because there was like, you know, I think I was the only, no, there was one other girl in our dojo, but I was like, I was stupid. I was, you know, everybody's yelling, go, go, you know, that whole mentality. And I just, of course, fed right into that because I'm an alpha female. And I wanted to compete with the boys. I want to be like up there with the guys. You know what I mean? I didn't want to, I'm always like, I want to be like right up there. So whatever, it's stupid. Because now, years later, I'm still paying for this injury. I mean, it's been years. So but that's why I tell you, don't put anybody ever in front of yourself. Ever, 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 ever. Because they're not going to be with you years and years and years later when you're dealing with this injury. So it's kind of a tough injury. But anyway, my insight that I got is when you do connect with that injury and you get on its playing field, it's like you almost like, honestly, the analogy of E.T. Okay, you know in E.T. in that movie where they put the little Reese's Pieces out and E.T. grabs it and munches it and he grabs it, but he moves really slow. That's totally the image I had today when I was doing my yoga at the end of my workout. It's like the injury opens and then I give it a little, like I give it a candy. My candy is just setting very slow in a stretch, and it kind of like open a little and relaxed. But the minute if I try to push it even more, it'll close down. So it's really interesting. It's an interesting injury. But anyway, you guys, I love you tons. Love you tons and tons and tons and tons. I'm gonna close out right here because I'm almost home. Look at me, I have no makeup. I have my lipstick. Isn't that amazing? That lipstick is like kind of stay with you. But you see all this like breakout and stuff, you guys? Let me know if this has ever happened to you. I am like super allergic to green tea, I think. Anytime I do tea, it's horrible. Look at this, though. Isn't this cool? The pink's coming out and it's kind of getting blonde. I like that. This, I think, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my hair, but you know I'm always changing it. But anyway, you guys, I love you tons. Remember, set in your light. Oh, before we go to the close, so tomorrow, Sunday, get in your training. I'm gonna train hard. I'm gonna eat really clean tonight. I'm gonna have a bonfire. I'm gonna make a bonfire. I might do a little, I might vlog about that a little bit. But anyways, you guys, stand in your light. Stand in your truth. And above all else, what? Be a warrior. Okay, I love you guys. And give you big kisses. Mwah.